Want this game to survive. And if you're listening to this, you probably want the same thing. Right now, currently, I feel like as far as content creation goes, it's been in a bit of a drought. Not only with that, as far as the content of the game, it's also been dealing with it. So, what's to say that a game is just built on the content and that's it? Is there nothing else redeeming about it that will allow it to be fun on its own without just, trying to find more currency so you could pull feature characters or build upon the characters you do have? I think a game should still be a game at the end of the day. And if it's not fun by itself, then that says a lot about it. The recent release of Wuthering Waves is that it's just fun. I'm not even really doing anything. I'm just killing stuff, and it's fun to kill stuff in the way that the mechanics are. What are you primarily doing when you're playing this game? You're killing stuff, and you're building characters, right? So, by itself, once you're able to get to a point that you can farm a stage, automatically, it kind of just stays put. And you do that and you farm, and you just make that character. You build that character up, and you never really use that character. The only time you probably use a character you build up really is the healer. Once you get enough DPS, once you're able to clear these stages in the first place, you're never bringing that built up character into rotation because you've already kind of cleared stuff on the way there. It should be fun to theory craft and create new things and new ways of playing and synergy and stuff. And there's a little bit of it, recently with Necromancer and Sansar. It's cool to have the wolf and the knight out at the same time. But a lot of the stuff that makes a character unique, like with any gacha game, is just locked behind a duplicate system. That's not unique to this, but it's everywhere, I got lucky in that my Alayar's Fate too, she gets really fast after she does reindeer shot or whatever it's called. But, how long is she going to hold on to that arrow? It's a little difficult sometimes. It's kind of a clunky ultimate she has. So, there's certain things like that where you want to go, all right, this game is really building upon Dragon's Crown, right? It's a successor to Dragon Blaze, which to me was a big thing. Dragon Blaze was my first gacha. But as far as Dragon's Crown, I want to know what's so different about this game compared to that. Like what, visually, if you looked at them, right? Peter Parker, you just, where's the differences? But if you really kind of analyze it, yeah, I mean, they both run and they got the dash attack and they got the regular and you hold down the button, this side scroller, dark fantasy style, But I think it kind of ends right there. I mean, even if you just look at the sorceress, the sorceress is, when you're playing her on Dragon's Crown, I mean, I know it doesn't sound like much, but just having a jump button is a big difference. The fact that you can be aerial when you're playing, and that fundamentally changes how you interact with enemies. And if you can dodge and get away from certain things, just the maneuverability you have in that game is a lot. There's just more dimensions to it. It isn't just left, right. It's up, down, And, you're fighting on many planes as far as what you can do and what you can interact with. It's like if you look at the Amazon too, I mean, so a bunch of them have different types of jumps, different types of attacks in the air, different types of loadouts really. The sorceress can get a whole set of different skills. She can use ice and lightning and wind and so on and so forth. Now, if this game could redo itself, is it better if it came out with less characters, but fundamentally just built upon better, right? More to that specific character to make them fun in a way that when we do get to a dry spell, when there is no content to be released, when there is no with the horse carriage and stuff like that, it's just fun to experiment. I think that would have been the way to do it. But right now, it's a little too late, it's a little too ambitious, and it's probably a little too expensive to just be putting jump attacks for everybody. So we're stuck with what we got. And it is quite a bit to just have a lot of characters just immediately add new spells and new attacks to each and every individual one. And like I said, as far as uniqueness goes, that only comes with the duplicates, the passives that duplicates unlock, which we're just not all going to be blessed for that. Ultimately, we're not all going to be blessed. If you look at this right here, where I'm looking at, I tried this out. So I'm gonna go here, go to book. By the way, I don't even really like this. I would like to have it so I can just immediately go to the character. This, it doesn't sound like it's a lot, but when I'm trying to go from book, then I go here, and I look for the character I want, then I go here, and then I want to go see what I need over here. Then there's a lag, and then there's this. Or like, let's say I go to the weapons. See, all my weapons with them is upgraded. So let me go to someone let's say, what do we got here? Equipment, enhance, right? And I need to see what they got. Okay, I gotta go all the way over here for that. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. There's probably a workaround, but yeah, it's a little annoying. It's minor grievance. Quality of life. But anyway, I was trying to get over here to where you go to the Fates, and having the Layar, she's faster, attack speed, 33%, right? It's very short, unfortunately. And then I went over here, and I see that this new character, I'm just going to call her Emily, because I really don't care, but increases attack speed by 8.3 and movement speed by 20 point, whatever. So 20.8 for 8 seconds. I tried combining that with the passive of this. So I would have her do her skill, and then I'd have her do her ultimate. At the end of the day, it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I thought I could make some type of like speedy Layar build, and it really doesn't work out that way. And I can show it too. Let me see. Let's go to a stage. Let's go to a stage, right? All right, Emily's not that built up. I only have her level 45. I don't even think I have her weapon really leveled up. I'm just doing this so I can experiment and see if I can make the game funner, right? Just fun by itself, which is what I was talking about before. And I'm playing on my phone right now, so there's also that. So, it's complaints about the controls. So I need to build up the ult, right? Come over here, build it up. One thing I do like about, all right, I think the ult's built. So come here, boom, go over here, reindeer shot. All right, now I'm fast. Look at that. Look how fast that is, right? But that's it. It's done. It's done. I mean, it's kind of already over. It's, you're not really, you can't really have it consistent enough where you're just having a brand new character because you found some synergy with you got two characters kind of creating a new one. Then you can swap back and then try to set this up and then get the ultimate going. And now look, she's fast, and it just kind of slows down. It kind of just slows down. And yeah, I don't know, just kind of leaves a bad taste, Let me get out of this because it was just an example. One thing I do like is just seeing how the wolf and the knight can come out. That's great. I like that. A lot of people are saying that necromancer's underwhelming, and I get that completely. At first I thought it was kind of just doom posting, but if her kit doesn't do what it says it does, yeah, and some people sink money into the people who matter, the people who pay the bills for this developer and production or whatever it is, Yeah, and the kit doesn't say what, it's not accurate. Yeah, it's a problem, right? And I think June 13th is when those changes will get rolled out. I don't know. I mean, you get to a point where it's underwhelming. They don't like it. It's overpowered. Now it's power creep. It's just hard to satisfy everybody. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if your character's not doing what it says it's doing, that's a problem, regardless, for good or bad. Be accurate, right? Because you're not just paying. I thought it was $20. Maybe it was 19. Oh, maybe it was 21. No, you're paying money for this. This is the people who count, right? The whales or the dolphins or whatever. The people who let this game continue, right? You got to satisfy them on some level. Yeah, but I just think that there's a lot of things in this game that could, if it's going to mirror Dragon's Crown, and at face value, its aesthetic and its mechanic is very similar, why does it not feel as fun? When you're in a battle, why is it not as fun? One thing I hear is that just when you are fighting, the controls are pretty bad on the phone. I understand that. To be honest, Wuthering Waves, the controls are pretty awful, in my opinion. And I think for that game, really, it's so ambitious that it's meant to be played on the controller, and you could just kind of log in and do your dailies when you're in the office or something like that. Completely fine with me. If anything, I think what they mean, it might be a feedback thing. Yes, there's times where I'm fighting and the dodge button, maybe it could be like I feel like I'm tapping dodge and it doesn't come out. But this just does not feel fluid when there's just so much going on. I don't know. That might just be a limitation of just how it is to play on a game, play on a phone, and it's real time combat, right? It's not some Epic 7 style thing. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking at this, right, 3 attacks, you can animation cancel and stuff like that. That's really cool, right? But if you're comparing it to a game that it's drawing inspiration from, a game that is very successful in the sense that it's so fun. Dragon's Crown is so fun when you're just fighting bosses and fighting enemies and stuff like that. I just don't think you got this. You can shoot that out and you can hold the button down, but it just feels like, I don't know if it's asking too much to, like, that's it. I mean, that's really it. You throw out the attacks, you charge this up, and then you do an ultimate, and then that's kind of it, right? Is that fun by itself? I mean, maybe it's the synergy, but synergy's kind of hit or miss depending on what your team is. Ultimately, you're going to need a healer. You're going to need the right elements and stuff like that. But just by itself, once you get to a point that you can clear the stage with, the auto farm or whatever, you're just kind of where you are. You're kind of just stuck with what you got, and you don't feel that need to just, oh wow, this is fun, let me try to do it this way, or let me try to do it this way. No, it's just kill as many mobs as possible, as efficiently as possible. But it's not fun to do stuff in that regard. And maybe having a jump button would do something. Maybe weapons have certain passives to it as well. I don't know what could be done to help the battle mechanics really raise up a little bit more. I don't know if anyone else feels this way. I don't want to say it's just boring or anything like that. I don't, but this right here, compared to the Sorceress from Dragon's Crown, it's just, I hate to just keep comparing the both of them, but when you're drawing your inspiration from it, and it's a great inspiration to draw, and that inspiration is so much funner by itself. If Dragon's Crown was a gacha game, I would not care about content. I would not need DLC. The game is fun on its own. I'd figure out all these different ways to use these attacks over these, or maybe this is better for that or better for this. I don't know. I would take just a quarter of the cast if they were more built upon and they were more unique. I honestly would. I would even sacrifice the characters I really like, so long as the ones who are there are truly, truly unique in that regard. But yeah, it's arrow, hold down, arrow, hold down. You know, it just depends on who you're using, you know, I guess. But for me, it's, I think Aurora was the one that I thought really had, and really, like I've seen people use Sarka. Those two look very, very fun. I didn't get either one of them, but they do look very fun. They're very highly mobile, and I think that is the direction they should be going when it comes to this game, and making sure that characters can maneuver about the stage. If they don't have a jump, have some type of mechanic where they are able to, like, you hold a button down and they kind of float a little bit, or just something, or change the way that the dash attacks. I don't think dash attacks really matter in this. Like, what do you do? Like, what is this going to do? Is this going to do anything? I don't know. I'm not trying to hate on Necromancer. Necromancer is literally the Meteor Mage from Dragon Blaze. This is the character I use all the time. So I am more than, there's no one more excited as far as Dragon Blaze goes. I want this character. I want this character out. I just want to, but it's just, I gotta be honest with it. It's not fun in and of itself. Outside of content, outside of going for that next character, building upon it. It's just, you clear it, you're done, you're finished. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing too is with the bosses. You look at some of these bosses that you're fighting. Like, let me just get to this stage. Let me get to the end. And I'm just gonna auto battle it. The way the bosses are introduced in this, again, when you take the beauty out of it, when you take the, oh gosh, let me change this team up really quick. Exit, leave. All right, let's get gold. All right, go back over from 6 to 8. I was just using 6 so I could try out Emily. Swap her out with, actually let me use the assist. Who's my friend? There we go. There we go. The thing about the bosses in this game is that you, as dark fantasy as they are, as awesome as they look, the way they're presented, it's all kind of the same. They do their little catwalk out, and then you just fight them. That's just all it kind of is. There's nothing else that really makes it stand out other than that. You could have them be a lot more interesting, and let's wait for this to get to the end. All right, look at that. See, they come out, and there you go. There's your balls. It yells, and then you're just fighting it. That's kind of just it. As opposed to something like this. You're walking out there. I think just having a walk animation would be kind of nice too. And they're eating as well. That's another mechanic I think would be pretty cool. If you could just eat in real time like that. But look at this. Look how more epic that looks. Like, you really have to fight that. You really have to beat the crap out of that. And the fact that you can jump in the air. Look how different that makes the fighting, and how dynamic it looks. All the stuff that's going on. I can't even figure out what's actually happening, you know? So I just, you know, there's a difference. Hey, look at this. You're pretty much sandwiched between both of these, like, statues, and you gotta take them out. That's pretty epic. You know, that's epic. I like that. I mean, that gets me excited, going like, oh, I really gotta take this thing out. This is a problem, you know? And it changes how you play. You know, I'm not trying to rag on this game. There's enough of that. It's so easy to doom post on something, just to the demise of the game itself. All so you can get some, you know, ad revenue and stuff like that. I think YouTube just kind of clings to that, right? The negativity. I want these changes to happen in some kind of way. So, and I say this again, the game will be fun by itself with no content, without trying to build a character that you may never use. Happens more times than I can count. Just to have fun or experiment. You know, look at something like Epic 7, for instance, right? Which is a grind fest, and it gets stale. At the end of the day, there's so much synergy between different characters that there's so much theory crafting that could be happening between the characters. And if they can't build upon one character and give them a ton of new attacks and spells, I understand financially that's not going to really work out that way. At least make them synergize more with different characters, you know, like I think Xanthea and Elear. Apparently Xanthea can hold back the enemies with the gravity, and then Elear can pick them off. And, you know, Necromancer and Sansar with the dog and the knight. And then I was trying with Emily and Elear to get the attack speed thing up. But that stuff should either be highlighted or really kind of worked upon a lot more. But right now, I don't think a lot of people feel that good about just enjoying the game for what it is. Outside of, like, you know, once the honeymoon phase is over, you know, this has to work for the long term. And just the fact that Necromancer's out, you know, I think this was the game breaking pull that was going to really push it out. And it's probably suffering from what everything else is suffering from. Wuthering Waves is out. There's this big old war between that and the Genshin folks or whatever. And it's caught in the crossfire. And I don't want it to be forgotten about. We don't have a talking trash can or something like that from Honkai Star Rail or anything like that. That will make this game just fun for just random reasons. That will put it on the map. And just the drying up of content just has me making content where this is not something I do. I don't even really know what I'm doing. I'm just talking into the mic. Because I just want this game to have some type of topic that isn't just it fading away into obscurity. It has amazing designs. You know, we got Sansar, dark skin with white hair. I mean, you just you really, like, there was no way. I could not escape. And then Elear and Necromancer, like, this is my game. This is my game, but it's just you know, and I know if you know, I call myself Black Arya. I mean, if you know who Arya is from if you know, you know. All right, this is a successor to Dragon Blaze. So yeah, I just want more out of this. I want more that isn't locked behind the fate system, right? This would be something cool if we could just, you know, this could be almost like a loadout or something like that. You know, you could choose a certain kind of passive that you wanted for that fight. Just something like that. I don't know. This is ultimately, it's not some type of game that I don't think was made for just AFK. I think there's strategy to be put in here, but, you know, the difference between the difficulty spike that can't be won with strategy, I mean, it happens a lot. I mean, it's just a DPS check, and it shouldn't be. So, you know, you got the elements, you know, you can load them up with, like, what's the whole strat? I think it's, I think like if you have dark element, you can load them up. And then once they build up the resistance, you can shred them down with a Elear or something like that. Dig into that more, you know, or make it easier to do such a thing. I don't know what the thing is. You know, breaking shields is fun in Wuthering Waves. You know, it's just such a dopamine kick when that happens. So just figuring out how to do that here would be something interesting. But in the meantime, I just wanted to push that out there. I like the game a lot. I'm sure you do too. I'm sure you know there's no content. I'm sure it's going to get better eventually. At least before it gets worse. But that's all. Thank you. Take care. 25-minute video of me ranting about it. That's enough. Bye-bye.